I just want to record this if that's okay, just because it's really interesting.
Yeah, yeah, throw it on, man.
Okay,
Let's do our intros
perfect.
real quick. Okay,
Okay.
let's do our intro.
All right. So my name is Andrew. I am the stake pool operator of Astra Stake Pool. Occasionally, I make YouTube videos for Cardano. I've been really busy with other stuff lately, so I haven't released a video in 2 or 3 weeks, but I will be releasing a video in the next week.
Hi, my name is James. I am a stake pool operator for Maximum Mint, ticker A Mint. You can see us at cardanomint.com. I also release content, basically news articles that are pertaining to Cardano. We have a YouTube channel as well. Andrew and I have been working together for a long time, and we're just helping everybody get news of all of the evolving things that are occurring in the network, and a lot is going on, just as we're talking about. In fact, I think our topic today is going to be third generation Cardano and DeFi and how it's going to affect people selling and buying their crypto during the parabolic run.
Okay, so James reckons that during the parabolic run, this crypto parabolic run that's coming, that people who have Cardano will be incentivized not to sell because of the staking rewards that you will receive from Cardano. Want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, that's correct. So if you think of the previous parabolic run with Bitcoin that happened about in 2017 when we started it, the major move was piling into Bitcoin, having it ramp up, and then everybody had no real use case for Bitcoin at the time, and so they sell high, hoping that as it goes down, they can buy low and accumulate more. This is one of the biggest problems with Bitcoin is the fact that it does these huge ramp ups and then these big old declines. That's a first generation blockchain. We also have Ethereum, which is second generation. It has smart contracts. And so there was more of a motivation for people to hold on and earn income through the movement and use of those smart contracts. Well, now we have our third generation crypto, which is Cardano, and we have DeFi that is implemented. And so my question is do we think that people are going to be interested in letting go of Cardano once it reaches a very high point when they're receiving these interest returns? Because the whole point is to accumulate more over time, right? Right, Andrew? Like, that's what we want to get. We want to get more and more and more over time. But if it goes to like $5 and you're earning 5% and you have a bag of like 500,000 Cardano at $5 and you're earning 5%, are you really going to be quick to sell? You've basically got a money-making machine that's pumping out almost an amount of money you could probably live off of. So are you going to really sell that to accumulate more, or just start utilizing those interest returns and keep your Cardano? This is a big question, and it hasn't happened before. So what do you think, bud?
Yeah, well, I mean, if the price goes up to $5 and it stays at $5 and it just remains at $5, then I definitely wouldn't sell. It would just be a money-making thing. You would just live off your rewards, or at least make a lot of money off just your passive income from your rewards. But like, that the price doesn't stay at $5. The price doesn't stay very high for very long. There's definitely a bear market in this crypto world. So there's a bull run, usually 12 to 18 months after the Bitcoin halving, which happened about three or 4 months ago. So there's supposed to be a bull run end of next year, maybe the beginning of 2022. But then after that, there's like a 2-year bear market until the next Bitcoin halving. And so wouldn't you rather try and sell your ADA when it's high so that you can buy more ADA when it's low, and then you can go back into the staking game and start earning staking rewards again?
Yeah, and I guess that's a really legitimate option, is to try and sell high so you can accumulate more, so you can even get more staking rewards. But you have to consider the people that already have 5 million or 7 million. 5% return on a $1 ADA when you have 5 million is a lot of money. It's enough at that point to you could literally live off of that. And so you have to wonder, there's going to be a percentage that won't release their ADA because A, they own so much, B, the price has gone up, and they're earning a way better interest rate than they could ever earn at a bank. So we have to consider there will be a demographic, there will be a group of people that will be motivated to hold on to their ADA versus sell it as soon as it peaks out. And they'd probably even be willing to let it drop up to 50% before they'll bail out, depending on how much ADA they have. But I really think this is going to be a slight game changer on how ADA maintains its price. I don't think people are going to be as quick to sell because of the benefit of the staking rewards. It's just a reality.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next bull run.
Yeah, it's
And
something
the
to
bull run
consider.
is starting, like with
Yes, it is.
Bitcoin going up to 18,000 and then coming back down a little bit, and then eventually it's gonna break its all-time high, and then it's probably gonna fall down a little bit, and then it's gonna start its steady ascent upwards, and then it will break its all-time high for a second time, and then just keep going. And yeah, I wish I bought some Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's true. And so that is really what we're looking at specifically. When Bitcoin's going to start its run, and you and I agree that it has started to begin its movement upwards. And you know, we recorded a talk, and I don't think it ever made it onto YouTube, but there was we talked about it, and I said we're going to be looking for those words all-time high.
Yeah.
Once we start to hear those words all-time high, that's when everything is going to start to kick off. And I just read in an article like 3 weeks ago, Bitcoin is starting to touch on all-time highs. So everything's moving forward the way we think it's supposed to. Could we see a decline in Bitcoin? Could it touch back to like 12,000 or 14,000? Chances are slim, especially with all of the hype and the time frame that we're in right now. Is it a possibility? It could kiss 12,000 one more time, but I highly doubt it. I think we're really starting to move here.
I think 14,000 is reasonable to expect for it to go back down to 14,000. But I think the days of 12,000 and 10,000 are behind us.
Those are over. I agree.
Yeah,
those days are over. And we're just looking to kind of calculate now how far this run is going to take us. And so I'll be doing a lot of homework. I'll be doing a lot of research on the movement, the volume, to kind of see where things are going. Plus, I'll be watching ADA for any synchronization movement with BTC to see if it links in or if it oscillates. That would be another great way to trade and get more Cardano and BTC. One goes up, you sell, then you buy the other that's low, and then you flip flop like that. So I'll be looking at the ratios, and I'll be watching to kind of see where this is going to peak out. I'm thinking we might go to 40 and maybe do a little bit of a turnaround, then maybe to 60 and then 80. I don't know where this thing's going to end. It just depends on our overall volume. But it's going to be an interesting ride, and I think this parabolic run due to the ARC is probably going to be a longer parabolic run than we've seen in the past. Sometimes we've seen like 3 months or 4 months. Sometimes it spreads out. Sometimes it spreads out a little bit further. But I'm thinking this one might be a longer, stronger parabolic run just because of more use case, more understanding, the economy, and what's with the coin shortage? In the U.S., we're talking about coin shortages. They're not even giving us exact change anymore. They're giving us our change on a debit card because they just don't want money moving around, which means that's a huge push for us. And since we see that coming, hold on tight.
There's a coin shortage in the U.S.?
Yeah.
Wow.
There's a coin shortage in the U.S. They will not give us exact change anymore. They'll give you your change on a debit card. But if it's like, if you buy something and it's $12.59, they're keeping that change, or they're going to give you the change on a plastic card that you can use at the grocery store later. So really weird.
It's
really
weird because I'm from a small Pacific Island country. Well, I'm half that and a half Scottish. But from my Pacific Island country, they've also got a coin shortage. But it's a tiny country. So I always thought, okay, well, you're not going to get this problem in these bigger countries. But here in America, they've got coin shortages.
Yeah. Yeah, and you have to wonder after all this time, who's been eating up all the coins or where are the coins going? Because my whole life, my whole 47 years on this planet, I never heard of us running out of coins.
Yeah.
So, you have to wonder if they're more motivated to just kind of get people out of hard money and into digital currency. And if that's happening, that's probably not the worst thing for us. But it's definitely interesting. It has some sort of meaning, and we're going to have to figure out what that is.
You guys could just get rid of pennies, get rid of your 1 cent coins. In
True.
Australia, they do that. They've got rid of their 1 cents and their 2 cent coins. So it's just 5 cents. 5 cents is the lowest one. And they just round it up or round it down, depending on.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, we've seen this type of stuff before in other countries or in earlier timeframes. And this is all a sign of us moving out of that hard money and into a digital economy. And with the devaluation of the dollar, I think we should expect to see some form of digital dollar coming soon. What else are they going to do?
Yeah. Okay. So maybe we should move on to the next topic, which is the K value. So
Yep.
IOHK have announced recently that the K factor is going to be set to 500 in December, and then it's going to increase to 1,000 in March. So what that effectively means is that at the moment, the saturation point is 210 million ADA. So if you're delegating to a pool that's over 210 million ADA, your rewards get diminished. But with this new K value coming into effect on the 6th of December, that saturation point is going to be 64 million ADA, or about 64 million ADA. And then in March, the saturation point is going to be about 32 million ADA. So it's a real push to try and get more stake pools to have sort of an equal amount of ADA delegated into those stake pools, and have more people, basically more decentralized. That's the word that I was looking for. It would just be a lot more decentralized, so that instead of 100 pools that are taking most of the ADA and staking most of the ADA, it's going to be distributed to a lot more pools. And I think it's a good idea. I think it's the right move.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously the algorithm starting at 150 was the initial number. They didn't want to be too overzealous and start out with like 1,000 pools and then have nobody show up to the game, right?
Yeah.
But we did. We had 1,000 pools show up to the game, and so they're making these aggressive adjustments sooner, which is great for smaller stake pool holders. And now that I think, I kind of feel like there's more of a unity. There was a recent video that was launched where we were talking about large corporations starting to enter the network, and they're building multiple pools, and they're being really aggressive on their pricing. Basically like when Walmart came in and destroyed all the mom and pop shops.
Yeah.
They underprice everybody, hoping that most of the delegators will jump onto them, and then the other stake pools will die out. Fortunately, IOHK has jumped on this, and they've adjusted the rules. Increasing the K to 500 is one of them. Also, there was actually some confusion on ANOT, which is the pledge that a stake pool operator puts on their node. And what we recently found out was that anything between 10,000 and 1 million will yield pretty much the same block result. We thought that ANOT had a larger role in producing blocks, but the fact of the matter is if there's a stake pool operator out there and he's got 10,000 staked on his node as a pledge, you're going to get as many blocks as you would get with somebody that's got anything between 10,000 and 1 million pledged on their node, which is fantastic. So that gives smaller stake pool operators a chance to get in the game, get set up without having to worry about being outbid, if you will, by larger pledges from stake pools that have more funds, more liquid funds. So that's also to our benefit as well. So we're seeing a lot of positive movement in the direction for decentralizing the network and preventing large stake pools from entering the space and succeeding. But we also need to remember that it is important for larger stake pools to bridle themselves, I guess I should say, in creating multiple stake pools. I'm reading an article now from IOHK that literally categorizes that action as a civil attack. Large pool operators creating multiple pools is considered in an article that I'm actually going to release really soon on my YouTube channel. It's a civil attack, and we need to make sure that we do our best to decentralize the network, support other stake pool operators, make sure there's good information out there, and most importantly, I think protecting your node, protecting your stake pool, making sure you're following all the security protocols, making sure that you're doing everything you need to do to keep your node up so that it doesn't become a tool that an adversary can use to manipulate the network.
Which leads us to our next thing. I just want to congratulate these pools. Hang on a second. I'll exit. So the Cardano Foundation recently, like, they moved their stake from every 3 epochs. They moved their stake to different stake pools, and
Yes.
they recently, today, they just moved it to. Hang on a second. Yeah, they moved it to. Well, they've just listed down their tickers here, and their tickers are a bit strange. Sage, Viper, Atlas, Genki, K9K, Latam, Thrive without an E, ADAVs, and One Japan, and AO Oz. Okay, some of these aren't words, but congratulations to these guys. They have each got 64 million delegated to their pool from the Cardano Foundation. This is how many pools that are benefiting: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 pools benefited from this. But with K moving to 500 so soon, wouldn't it be better to divide that 64 million to, like, again? So instead of benefiting 10 pools, it could benefit 20, and each pool gets 32 million ADA. So that way these pools aren't already oversaturated once K moves to 500. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it's actually a really interesting move, and it's so generous, and it's so wonderful that they're doing this. I mean, it really is a maximum effort to get some balance into the network. And so by saturating all of these smaller pools, they're really leveraging some smaller pools to kind of gain a little bit of grip on what's going on. You're right. Is it a great idea to max out these pools, or would it be a better idea to distribute a little bit more evenly over a few more pools to kind of create a wider base? Because you and I know the inevitability of this network becoming saturated just during this next time frame of about a year or 2 years. It's probably pretty good, because as people start to get more wind of Cardano, and as the price starts to increase, as the gravity of Bitcoin pulls everything up, as it usually does, we're going to see the smaller pools naturally saturate. The only difference is the smaller pools need a little bit of an edge. A $64 million edge is a great edge. It's the complete edge. But you're right. I think if they were to divide the load, even quad it, instead of just cutting it in half and fixing 10 pools, why don't we cut it in half and fix or cut it in a quarter and fix 40 pools? Mm-hmm. And give everybody, like a $12 million delegation, which, as you know, once you get over the $1 million mark, you're really producing blocks pretty frequently, and your node really becomes a machine of production at that point. Oh. So I don't know. Yeah. It is generous, but I wish they would spread it out a little further. Sorry, Andrew, what were you going to say?
Well, yeah, it would be 16 million spread across 40 pools, which I think is very good. Considering that K is going to move to 500, and the saturation point is not going to be 210 million, it's going to be 64 million. For them to be already at 64, it might persuade delegators not to delegate on that pool, because they would already be saturated. So I think it might be a good idea for Cardano Foundation to consider maybe splitting that up to, cutting it in half, or cutting it in 4 quarters. If it was quarters, it would be 40 pools that benefit, and each one of them gets 16 million ADA, and that is enough. That is enough to be continuously minting blocks and to build off. So yeah, if anybody from Cardano Foundation is listening to this, maybe you might consider these ideas. I'm sure you guys have already thought about it, though. I mean, it's
I'm
not.
sure they have. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's not
mean,
like.
they have a larger grasp of the bigger picture. At least I hope they do. And if we're offering some good information that they like, please take it. I mean, it's only going to benefit 30 more potential pools.
Mhm.
And I just, my goal is to spread this information. I know your goal is to educate, and we really are going to work hard to see this network thrive and grow. We're just looking for, the most efficient way we can do that. And that's why we talk about the things we do, and that's why we share the things we do.
Mhm. Mhm. Um, yeah, I wanted to bring up another topic, but this is a bit of a surprise topic. I haven't. It has nothing to do with Cardano, or not too much to do with Cardano. But Kaizen Crypto, he tweeted out saying that he reckons that Bitcoin will become the world reserve currency, and that it will be used on, and Cardano will be its blockchain. Like he because Bitcoin's not just the currency, it's also a blockchain, but it's a blockchain that is from the first generation, so it has some flaws to it. And what you can do is you can wrap Bitcoin tokens and put them onto, well, put a
Data.
corresponding version of it onto the Cardano blockchain. So it would be like wrapped Cardano Bitcoin that can then use the Cardano blockchain as if that token, as if the Cardano blockchain was native to the cryptocurrency itself. So yeah, I thought that was interesting. I thought that was an interesting thing to think about. What do you think about that? Do you think that that's ever a possibility, or do you think that the Bitcoin miners will rally against any ideas like that?
No, no. I definitely don't think it'll be seen as a negative on any network. This idea of creating so we have ADA, which is the actual coin, and then we have Cardano, which is the network.
The
And
blockchain.
Cardano, yeah, the blockchain network. And so what we're doing is we're creating these ERC20 converters that are going to allow all coins to reside on the Cardano network natively. And so they've been tinkering with this with hot swaps of Bitcoin and Litecoin and doing other things in this space. But Cardano is fundamentally built this way. In fact, I know for sure that smart contracts from Ethereum will be able to natively port straight over to Cardano with no modification, which is a big deal. And they're touting Cardano as the internet of blockchain, because the whole premise of the design is to allow other blockchains to ride on top of it. And we're also looking at Cardano to help stabilize other chains by utilizing it to confirm their blockchains to prevent against 51% attacks. So I really see Cardano anchoring in almost like an octopus. It's just kind of putting all of its tentacles into all these other cryptocurrencies to aid in stability, to help with speed and transaction times. I definitely see this coming. I think it's an inevitability, and I think it's going to be well received for all cryptos. It's only going to be a helpful component, and Cardano is going to be delivering that really soon. So yeah, I don't see any fight against that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think there would be a fight. I think the
Yeah.
Bitcoin miners, the Bitcoin miners who are mining Bitcoin, they're not going to want to see their Bitcoin tokens get ported over to Cardano, and then when it's sent between people, that fractions of like the gas fees are paid in Bitcoin to the stake pool operators of Cardano. It wouldn't be paid to the miners
Miners.
of Bitcoin. So I think there would be a clash at some point. They're going to rally against that and not like that idea. Or maybe one day they could try and figure out how to do what Ethereum is trying to do, which is Ethereum's trying to move from a proof of work protocol to a proof of stake protocol. Right. And they're already facing a lot of challenges with that. But maybe one day Bitcoin does the same thing.
Absolutely. I mean, we already understand the concept of proof of stake versus proof of work. Bitcoin is that proof of work protocol. Ethereum is is a proof of work switching to a proof of stake protocol. But like you said, there's a lot of modifications that need to happen in there. And then we have Cardano, which utilizes Ouroboros, which is fundamentally and always has been a proof of stake protocol. So we're more efficient. We use less energy. We do it faster with these protocols, and we scale because of this protocol. So it would almost be a benefit if we wanted to keep Bitcoin moving to port it on to Cardano to keep the cost lower for Bitcoin, because obviously there's a cost component when you're doing proof of stake, or excuse me, proof of work, and so this could actually help leverage Bitcoin in a way to where it becomes more cost effective to move Bitcoin from place to place. I don't think it's going to hurt Bitcoin. I think it's going to make things easier for Bitcoin in the long run, because when as it gets larger and those transaction fees go up higher, people aren't going to want to move their Bitcoin around unless they have some other means to do it. Mm-hmm. So wrapping Bitcoin in Cardano Bitcoin may be a benefit. Yeah,
that may be the benefit. There's already wrapped Bitcoin in Ethereum. So yeah, right. Ethereum's already got wrapped Bitcoin on its network, but yeah, Cardano will have that capability pretty soon.
It's going to have the capability, I believe, to run almost every cryptocurrency with a use case. And I'm looking forward to that, because as a stake pool operator, we're going to help facilitate those transactions. And so we need to be ready for it. You know, mm-hmm. It's going to be something that's coming for us.
Yeah. Well, should we conclude there?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of information. This is a lot for everybody to absorb, and I think if you guys want to keep up on this stuff, it's constantly evolving. They're releasing articles on a daily basis. Please check out Andrew at Astra Stake Pool, and check out Cardano Mint, Maximum Mint, and check out our YouTube channels, because we are releasing this content as quickly as it comes out to try and get it to you guys so you can make educated decisions on what's going on in the blockchain. If you guys need to reach us, contact us on our respective Twitter and YouTube channels. We're definitely both responding. I know I'm looking for, my goal is to help people learn how to acquire crypto, build a wallet safely, send and receive crypto. And what I'm noticing is a lot of people do not know how to do this. They want to get into the space, they just can't. For those of you who are interested in getting into the space and you want to do it safely, please contact me. I will get back to you personally, and we will go through all the safety protocols to make sure you can acquire your crypto, and that's really important.
Okay, great. See you later.
Andrew, we good?
Yeah, I think we're good.
All right, man. All right. Well, thank you so much for having us on, and we'll do this again. This is fun.
Yeah, take care. I'm just going to stop recording now.